Okay, here's my DIY light fixture. I bought a piece of rain gutter. It was 10 foot long. I'm making 4 foot lights, so one section will make one light for a 4 foot tank. A hanger that I'm using that to make the brackets to hang it with, and end caps. You need 4 altogether, 2 rights and 2 lefts. That'll be to close the ends in. The first thing that we do is I take the piece of rain gutter and I cut it down to a usable size that I can manage. In this case, I cut it in half. It gave me 2 5-foot sections. I'm going to trim it down to 4 feet then. And the first thing I done is I flattened out the back edge of the rain gutter. Used a body hammer, flat face, kind of does a pretty good job. Regular hammer would work. You leave the front profile intact. Okay, and you would do 2 of them, one for the front half and one for the back half. They'll overlap. And then you take your end caps and the back corner that used to be the back of the gutter that you straightened out, you have to open that back corner up so that it'll go on through. And as you see here, I opened that corner up so that it goes right through. And then when you place these on here, let's see, get the right one. That allows that sheet to carry straight on through across there when it clips on there. Okay, I also take the coat hanger, cut it in half. Hold this over here. After I cut it in half, I roll a loop, do one in each corner, or on each end. You can see I've done both these ends. Okay, and then I take and I twist it 1/4 of a turn, which orients it in the right direction to fasten onto the light, and I put a chain on this, and this is what I hang them with. I also, with the width of the light that I'm making, I cut a block of wood. Now mine happens to be 7.5. The width of yours would vary depending on the width of the light that you make, and it goes from this flat edge across to the other flat edge, and then the 2 sheet metal pieces will overlap. I attach my lights to this. I also drill some holes through the other side and run some short screws in there. That attaches the block of wood onto the flattened out rain gutter piece. Okay, now here's some assembly. Here's my blocks of wood sticking in here. I got them screwed fast from the underside, which will be the top. One at that end. Have that end in. I'll show you the details on this end. There's your end cap, and then this is the little piece that I make that fills the space in between the 2 of them. I put an end cap on. There we go. Have the one end cap on. Have that little tab that goes under that block of wood. And then there's a piece on there that fastens on to the end cap. Fits in that groove. And this one here goes on like so. Okay. I crimp all these connections on here, and I crimp this over. That kind of locks this all together and makes it tight. And then in here on the ends, I drill a hole and run a screw in, one in each piece, and that's what holds it together. I'll show you on the other end what I'm talking about. See the screws in there, and that kind of locks it all together. This piece here is bent over here to clip all this together. Here's my makeshift reflector. I use aluminum duct tape coat the inside of it the whole way through. Do this before I put anything on the outside like the ballast and the hangers. It makes it easier with it laying flat on the table. I also put the bulb hangers and my bulb brackets and all in there before I do that. Now the other detail I want to show you, we'll roll this over, is the hanger brackets that I bent. Final detail of the bend is this little crook in it. And then here in the corner there's a screw that I back out, and that just fits in behind there, and then it screws back up tight again, and then that gives me a bracket in order to put a chain on to hang the light. With the system I'm using here, I'm using T8 bulbs and T5 bulbs in combination, and all my ballasts will mount on the top of the hood. I use the Glow 54-watt ballast and T8 ballast, and there's hangers yet to be hung. Well, I figured I'd do a little upgrade. I'm going to install some moonlights. I fasten them onto a little tab that I cut out of this backing, and then I'll attach it with a single screw. It'll look like this one here does. And the done project. See the moonlights right there along the edge?